Hey everyone, this is Elias from Red Match Media, and today we're going to be taking a look at the 2025 Toyota Grand Highlander Platinum Hybrid Max. Now, we were great fans of the regular Highlander, so I guess Toyota thought, let's make a grand one. Let's go ahead and see if this deserves its grand name. Let's get started. We get started in front, and this thing looks mean. I love the Grand Highlander over the regular Highlander's front end. I feel the other one was a little too kind of bubbly. This one is pretty strong in its presence, so love that. I love also the fact that we get a very straight, just strong grille here, so love the fact that we have that. It is also like a gunmetal color to it, which is really nice. Oh, and speaking about color, the storm cloud color, it's really nice. I like it. It's kind of like a grayish blue color to it. I do like their other, I think it's cement. I don't know. I forgot. I'll put it and possibly show you a picture. Yes, the Millennial Grey for the Grand Highlander. Yes, I know. But I like the way that that looks. It gives a nice, beautiful line to the side profile as well with that other color. But this looks good too. We do get some chrome trimming up here on there. And then we do have a really nice headlight setup. Nice and sleek, nice and small, but very powerful, very easy to light up the road. No issues there. And then we have the fog light system down here as well. And then we have a little bit of a lip down there for just a little bit more design. But yeah, I love the way that this looks. And let's go ahead and see what we have under this hood. We get under the hood and we have the 2.4 liter inline 4-cylinder turbocharged hybrid engine, and it is cranking out 362 horsepower and 400 pound-feet of torque. It is connected to the 6-speed automatic and then to the full-time electronic all-wheel drive. Now, I was surprised at how much power this thing had. And the other thing that surprised me, the sound. This thing actually sounds really good. Not for a 4-cylinder, not for a 6-cylinder, but almost kind of there for an almost 8-cylinder rumble. So I was actually pretty impressed by it. So love the fact that we have that. Now, they do offer two other engines with this. So you do have a full just gasoline engine, which is a 2.4 liter turbocharged engine that it does crank out 265 horsepower and 310 of torque. If you don't need the additional power, I say go with that, because that is also still a great power plant. And yeah, it would work really great with this. And then we have the lesser hybrid of the kind of middle ground, where we do get a hybrid system, but it's not the max that we get with this. And then that one does give you 245 horsepower and 175 pound-feet of torque. So we do get less power in the middle sort of engine, but we are going to get a good amount of MPGs with that. So as far as this, we do get 26 city, 27 highway, and 27 combined. When we go to the regular hybrid, or the non-max hybrid, we're looking at 36 city, 32 highway, and 34 combined. So there is a big jump. So again, if you're wanting decent power, go with the gasoline only turbocharged. If you're wanting high MPGs, and we're talking about high MPGs because this is a big vehicle, go with the standard or the mid-grade hybrid. And then if you want performance, go with the hybrid max. Now, again, the performance was great, super linear, super snappy with just getting, you know, power and going. Highway, low end, any really power band side of the power band, you're going to be covered. Now, I did experience something with the eco mode in this that was a little like, okay, we're never using that button again. And that was that it was just not as responsive when you're flooring it, which I would think, hey, okay, we want to bypass the eco because you just want to pass. It was a little bit of a delay. So yeah, a little bit more than I'd like. So I understand eco mode, that's what it does, but stay in normal mode, modulate your pedal, your foot, and get your MPGs that way. But Other than that though, this thing has been incredible. I love this power plant and I love how it all works together. And yeah, this thing is awesome. So let's go ahead and take a look at those wheels and tires. We get down to the wheel and tire package and we have this nice 20-inch wheel, and it is wrapped in the 255/50 Yokohama Geolandar XCV tire. Now, a couple of things with this. I like that we have a 20-inch wheel. I like that we don't have a 21-inch wheel. I like that we don't have a 22-inch wheel with a big SUV like this. So I think we're good at this size. Love the size proportionally to the vehicle itself, and that is because we're then going to get a taller sidewall with the tire, and that is going to help absorb the road, and that's exactly what this has been doing. It's been really making small bumps not even noticeable, which is good, especially on a SUV like this that's big and you're wanting to kind of drive across the country kind of thing. You know, if you encounter bad roads, it's going to do a good job of it, and it really does. So yeah, a great looking wheel again. Tire performance was great. Definitely had the grip because we were pushing this guy to some maybe limits that not a lot of people will, but it was gripping with no problem. The all-wheel drive system was just delivering the power where it needed to be. The suspension responded really great to, you know, the sport side of things, and even for everyday driving, especially for everyday driving. And then we had the brakes, which were great to, again, get this big guy stopped. So yeah, I'm loving this setup, and yeah, definitely a great package that we get with the Grand Highlander. So let's go ahead and see what we have on the side. We get to the side profile and we can see, yeah, this is definitely the Grand Highlander. As you can see, we're definitely at a really big sized SUV, but it doesn't drive that way. So yeah, that's kind of a nice little feeling to have. But we take a look at those wheels and they just fit really nice in those wheel wells. And again, like I said, the 20-inch size I think is perfect, and yeah, they just look really good with the proportion of the size of the Grand Highlander. Now we take a look at the front, and we do have kind of this trim here. It is a textured black plastic, and that kind of follows right down below and then to the back there as well. And we do have some nice little mud flaps as well to help out with kicking up any debris. We have a nice fender that has kind of a bulbous design, but then we also have some really strong defined lines. And then we have this line that just kind of follows from the front fender all the way back, that just sets its kind of shape or a silhouette on the inside of the line. So loving the fact that we have that. And then we have the framing, which we have the black textured at the top with a little bit of a chrome trim at the bottom. At the very top, we have kind of a brushed aluminum look roof rails with the crossbars. This one does have an optioned out crossbar for more storage if you're needing more toys to place up there. But yeah, I love the size of this thing. I love the way that it looks, and that storm cloud color looks so nice in the sun as well. So I do have the key in my pocket, so I'll go ahead and reach, and it unlocks. I can go ahead and open up, and very easy to get into. Very big door. And what I love about this is that even though it's an SUV and it's got some height to it, it's got some clearance to it, but it's very easy to hop into. So if you're older or just kind of struggle to get into some of these bigger SUVs, us shorties, not to worry, this is actually really easy to get into. So I can go ahead and lock there. And then when I go to grab the back door, it also has a sensor. So love the fact that we have that, so we can open up and kids can get in, family can get in with no issue, pets can get in. So that's the other thing with this being easy entry. Smaller pets, older pets, very easy to get in. So I can go ahead and lock there, and we're set. That's what we get for the side profile. So let's see what we get in the back. We get to the back and we have some really nice design elements back here. So we're gonna go ahead and start with the spoiler at the top. We have that really nice and long integrated third brake light up there, which I love. It's a nice, cool design. I love the fact that it follows also the kind of curve to the spoiler up there. So loving that. And then we have the rear glass, which we do have a good amount of visibility, even though it's actually not that big of a size relative to its other size itself. But I do like the fact that we do have a rear view camera system, rear view mirror camera system, which has been awesome. I've had it on the whole time. There really isn't a necessary need to turn it off unless, yeah, you're wanting to see anyone inside of the vehicle, but loving that. And then we have the wiper here to make sure we keep things clean in there. Then the taillights, love this design. We kind of have a scoop coming into the taillight and then kind of kicking them out at the top. So love the fact that we have that. We have a plastic trim that kind of connects them in black. Would have been cool to see like a smaller LED light just kind of connecting all of them together. And then this is kind of where, you know, we're being grand here. Let's show off that it's the Grand Highlander. So yeah, the badging for the name, it's the same color as the vehicle, so you can't really tell. I know, small little details, but give them to me in black, give them to me in chrome, like we have the Hybrid Max and like how we have the Platinum. Because again, after all, this is that prestigious kind of feel to it. So we want that in chrome. And then we come down here, we have the black textured trim, and we have the dual exhaust, which, yeah, I was surprised. And this thing sounds really good for a 4-cylinder, so I was really impressed. It actually sounds better than some 6-cylinders that are out there. So yeah, make sure you guys are tuning your vehicles for a great sound. And then we have our tow hook up here, which we can tow up to 5,000 pounds, which is right there for my Miata. Yeah, 2,200 pounds. And then yeah, if we get a heavy trailer, you're kind of up there as well. So yeah, loving that, loving what we have in the rear. So let's go ahead and see what we have inside. To open up the back, we can press the button that's underneath there, or we can simply do our little can kick, which has been pretty accurate. I've been getting lucky with this. And this is the other thing I was kind of surprised with us having a 3-row SUV. Typically the cargo space is going to suffer, or the seats, so we'll have to take a look at how much space we have in that 3rd row. But we have a ton of space here, which was actually pretty surprising. We have this nice little mat here, or the carpet, and then we open this up and we have the little shade on there that you can store away if you're using the 3rd row, or obviously if you're just needing to cover it, you can use that. We have the scissor jack there, and looks like the front plate there. A little bit of, yeah, looks like it says compact spare tire. So, okay, so I found the trick to getting to the spare tire. So on the sides here, we have handles. So you lift there, and you lift on the other side too. They're like clips where you can go ahead and lift this up. And obviously you wouldn't have the weight of the jack, because you'd probably be using the jack to get the spare tire out, or to change your spare tire. But we go ahead and open up here, and yeah, we actually do have a spare tire right under there. So that's nice to have, and nice to see that we are getting more vehicles with actual spare tires, so that your road trip doesn't necessarily have to end at that point. And then, so yeah, we have that covered up. We have the JBL speaker, which has been great. Oh no, let's not close it. Sorry, my foot got near the sensor. And then we have our connector there for power. We get 120 volts, 1500 watts. But yeah, that's what we get here. The only thing is, for the 3rd row, you do have to kind of dump this guy down and bring this guy down as well to get even more space, which is a lot. This is a lot of space here. But then again, you're needing to then go ahead and lift this up and lift this. I would have liked a power option, but yeah, I mean, that's what we get in this. It's not too bad. It's a very simple system, so it's not like press here, turn this knob, and then all these different sequences. Very simple. So I guess it's not too bad, but that's what we get in the back. We take a look at the door, and there's a lot of nice things that I like about this. So we're going to get started at the top, and I do love the finish we get with this. It's a little bit rugged, but still kind of luxurious looking or feeling. It is very comfortable to lay my arm on, great positioning, so love that. Then we get to this. This is one thing I don't like about this door, and it just looks like an afterthought. It looks cheap. It doesn't look that good. I guess it just doesn't match. It almost looks like a prototype piece of like, yeah, we're just gonna put some trim there for now, and I think they forgot to, yeah, change it. I think it's the color as well. So I don't mind the prints, but I think it could have used a little bit of like silver or to define the lines kind of thing. So we have that, and that's because everything else is gonna look really awesome with this. So we do have the 2 save seats there. We do have our windows and our mirror controls on there. And then we have this, which, yeah, I love the look to this. This looks like the finish we get with the 1794 edition on like the Tundra. It looks really good. It's got that cowboy slash luxury feel to it. And you'll see when I show you guys the seats what I mean by that. And then we have a big opening for a water bottle, and then a little bit of like a small umbrella look for storage right in there. Then we have the speaker, the JBL speaker, which have been awesome. These things have been loud, they have been clear, and we've been blasting a lot of tunes. But yeah, that's kind of what we get with the door. We get to the seats, and these things are incredible. Remember what I said about that cowboy luxury look to it? Yeah, this color is spectacular, and the adjustability is there. No issues. Very simple, but very straight to the point. Heated, vented options, and yeah, they look really good. I love it. Now we do get 2 kind of materials here, and I will tell you, don't worry, it looks dirty, but it's not. It's just that it's kind of like when you brush one side, it's going to give you one kind of shade. So if you see kind of marks that are like that, it's not that it's dirty, it's just that you have to just kind of, yeah, do that. But I love it. They feel so nice. They look really incredible. And yeah, enjoying these. We take a look at the steering wheel, and this is actually really nice. I love it because of the materials. So we do have a nice soft material all around. I don't know if I would have liked the dimple, because I think it would take away from more of the luxurious feel side of things, but it's really good though. My hand just falls right on there. We do get the paddle shifters in the back. Now this is kind of weird, but I guess it makes sense now because we have the light switch there. But basically, even though the minus is all the way towards the middle of the steering wheel, the actual like button, the actual paddle is actually really close to the edge of the steering wheel, which makes it easy for you to just put your hand on the wheel and actually just press the downshift button. But yeah, that's what we get for those. Then this is what I really like, this little golden trim. It's just a small little thing, but it really sets it off, and it really complements again that brown color that we get on the dash and on the interior. Yeah, there's a lot of great looking finishes to this, so just kind of quick sneak peek there. But yeah, love this little trim that we get. We have the controls for the gauge cluster on the left hand side with the volume on the bottom, and then we get the cruise control options on the right side with the next track and previous track buttons there. Cruise control has been awesome, very easy to drive. This system is just incredible. But yeah, love the finish, love the look that we get with this. But yeah, I think I think it would have been better if instead of black, it would have been that same gold color. So yeah, maybe Toyota, you guys can change that, because I think this looks so much better. We get over to the gauge cluster, and I love this system. So first, we do get a digital display, and we have 3 main save settings. So 1, 2, and 3. I love this, but I want more. That's how good this thing is. I want more. I want, let's say, 5 save settings. I think that'll be a good number, but let's go ahead and we'll modify our 3rd one. So we press and hold the OK to change settings, and then on the left hand side you could see that you have different options of what you want to put on that side one right in there. And then we also have, obviously, there were some items missing, driving support. So you can see all the different options that you can basically turn on to be able to toggle between when you go to set it up. So yeah, there is a lot of options. You guys thought I was joking. No, there are a lot. And that's only for the left hand one. And then when we get to the center, we do have only a couple. So we do have just a map, settings, you know, any messages, and then just blank. Usually I just leave it in driving support, especially if I'm using that cruise control, which I really, really loved. And then on the right hand side, again, we just have all of these options that we can program to be able to toggle through them when we have that right hand side. And yeah, I mean, there's tons of great combinations, and that's why I said I would love to see 5 save settings on this. And I keep repeating that for every Toyota system that has this, because Toyota, we need to make it happen. It's great. Love this. A huge improvement from previous systems. So this is why we need more. We get over to the infotainment screen, and this thing is nice. I love it. It's bright. It's big. It's horizontal, very horizontal. It's big, but it doesn't get in your viewing area. So loving that. We still have a good amount of viewing area in the windshield. It doesn't obstruct anything, and it's a very simple system. Wireless Apple CarPlay. Again, one of my favorite things with the new Toyota systems is the fact that we have this like dock of system icons. So it's not just, you know, for your Apple CarPlay, because you have those on here. But if you don't want those, you can just go full screen. But honestly, you're going to want to stay in this because you want to be able to action on those other options very quickly instead of having to navigate in a different way. But love it. JBL system, incredible as always. And that's kind of what you get with the infotainment screen. Then we get down to the climate system, and this has been really nice. Very simple, very straight to the point, but very powerful. A lot of tools in this that you wouldn't really kind of know, but let's take a look at them. Obviously, we have the heated seats and the venting. Venting's at full blast because, yeah, we're pushing 102 outside right now, so definitely feeling it. And then we have our temperature setting there, which we have it set to low. Usually I have it set to auto, which you can do, but if I do set auto, we're gonna get a lot of fan noise because it needs to really cool. And then we have our fan to obviously turn off. We have our front defroster for the windshield. We have our rear defroster and mirrors. And then we have our de-icer for the windshield wipers, which is really nice. For those 2 days that we get cold, frozen temperatures here, yeah, it's nice to have that little luxury there. These guys are very simple, very straight to the point, just kind of up and down with that there. And then obviously if we want to choose the location where it's sending or routing the AC to, and then obviously we have our temperature for the rear. Now this turned on here, and I felt my front go a little bit lower because it's now routing signal to the, or air to the back, but we're going to use this guy. So S-Flow, only direct air only to occupied front seats. So this is really nice. So I like the fact that it has that option to only to use the sensor of which seats are being occupied and route it to that. But loving that. And then obviously we have the rear climate option, we have the recirculation, the passenger settings for that, and there. But that's what we get. Very simple, very straight to the point. But like I said, some really nice tools with the climate system. We come down and we have the camera button. So we can go ahead and press that. And yeah, right now when you're parked, it's just going to do a roundabout scan. Make sure that everything is good, which we are off the grass. Very important to have that. And yeah, we are making sure we're also not on the street. Love to see that. But when you do shift it, these are the views that we get. We have obviously the front, which we can do that, and the other options. And then we have for our basically where when we turn, you can see them where the vehicle is going to go. So loving that. And then we have the auto button. So the auto button is going to be once you get under a certain speed, it will automatically turn on. I like this feature when you know, you park, you're going into a shopping center, because at that point you know, you're slowing down, and with a vehicle that I'm not used to its dimensions, it's easy for it to turn on its own, and I can get to there. But loving that. And then obviously when we go to our rear, we can see it's sensing all the garage doors and all those other things there, the plants. But yeah, that's the different views that we get with the camera. Then we come down and we see we have the USB-C port on there for charging, and then the USB-C for data and for charging there as well. We come a little bit lower and we have an area for storage of a device, so like an iPhone that may be charging with that wired setup, or we can wirelessly charge here. So we do have that. Now we're gonna try my chuck test, which is me literally chucking my phone into a wireless charger to see how inaccurate I can be and have it charge. So I go ahead and press, and it is charging right now. So the only thing that is kind of, so it hasn't been bad. It's been charging, and the only issue that I have with it is that if you go on a spirited drive, or you may take a turn a little too fast, it just kind of slides off. So it will kind of just slide off. So just kind of be aware of that. Yeah, that's the only thing I dislike about it. But other than that, it is definitely able to charge with no issues on there. Then we come back a little bit, and we have essentially 3 cup holders. So we have a big storage area here, which you can definitely put a big cup in there, and then like a medium-sized cup here, and then like a small cup here, because it is a little bit on the smaller side with these cups relative to each other, really. And then we have that beautiful, again, that gold trim just sets this off, and it looks really good. And speaking about the gold trim, the shifter, yeah, the shifter looks really nice in this gold trim. I haven't seen it with this. Usually you get the silver color, but loving the way that this looks with it. And yeah, it's just your typical shifter. You have your reverse, neutral, drive, and then a manual mode there as well. We get to the parking, electronic parking brake there. We have the brake hold there as an option, and then we have the traction control option there. On the right hand side, we have a snow and a hill descent option there, and then we have our drive modes. So we do get eco, sport, rock and dirt, mud and sand, and normal. Let me tell you, don't bother with eco. Stay in normal, and then just be your own eco mode. And that is because in eco mode, it is too unresponsive in the sense that sometimes you are needing to have responsiveness in passing situation, and it was not responsive at all. Even if you floor it, I hate to say it, but it was almost scary to like, okay, I need you to go, and I know you can go because this thing can actually go pretty well. So yeah, just stay normal and just ease off the gas if you're wanting to save a little bit of MPGs. But yeah, that's what we get there. And then we come to the armrest, which has been really nice. I love the feel to it. I love the look of it. Yeah, the color is just so awesome. And then, yeah, we have a little bit of a little storage area here, which is where I have that. And you're wondering, well, how does the armrest come up? Aren't you going to have that fly back? But you don't, because you push this, and it slides open, and then we have a compartment. It's not the biggest, so just kind of be aware. It is very deep. But because of that little sliding mechanism, this opening is not that large. So yeah, a purse probably won't fit in here unless it's a small bag, or you can kind of just squeeze it. And then once it's like really in here, you're fine, because like I said, it's really deep to store other things in there. But yeah, then you close it and you're set, and that's what we get. We get to the door in the back, and this is really nice. So we continue with a little bit of more luxury. Obviously, with it being the back seat, you can put what I call the peasant blocker. In this case, it's really more of the heat blocker, because yeah, it is scorching hot today. But because of this, it's definitely a lot cooler than if we would have had it down. But when you do have it down, the armrest here is nice and comfortable as well. Same material. Actually, this feels a little bit squishier than the front, so that's nice to see. And then we get down here and we have obviously saying no water bottle. So just kind of like knickknacks that you can put in there. We have our window control. We have the nice brown finish that we get with that. We have our water bottle area and a little bit more space than we kind of do in the front for that umbrella. Just that the opening itself is very slim. So you're gonna have to kind of put things in from there. JBL speaker, which again sounds great. Then we get to the seats in the second row, because yes, this is a 3-row SUV, and we have just that amazing, beautiful finish. And this does have captain's chairs, so we have that there. We do get the cup holders in here. We do get those two. We have a little cubby there. We have what looks like for iPad storage, so we get 2 of those. Now, if you don't need this, there's a little latch there, and you could pull this. So then that is kind of on its own, and you have a step there for your passengers to get into the rear. So loving that, and it's actually really easy to just kind of latch back on with no problem. And then we have our climate control system for the rear passengers there, and they have their USB-C connections, one on each side, with a power connection right down here as well. So loving that. And we do get the AC vents are right above on there, so you can see them. Sunroof is closed because yeah, it is scorching hot today, but that's what we get in the second row. So now to get to the third row, we go ahead and we actually pull this down first, as it says, and we can do that, and we get to the third row, and surprisingly there's actually a pretty good amount of legroom space. Obviously that's probably all the way back, so we can move that a little bit forward for there. If you're in the back, you do get 3 sets of seat belts, so that's nice to see on there. And then we also get the cup holder area right here on the side. And then we get this awkward looking piece, which is actually for your USB-C connection on there. So yeah, I was surprised at the amount of space we have in this third row. And then again, it's just a matter of pushing this back, and yeah. Sorry, it is a 2-hand operation to get that rolled back. And again, that's what we get in the third and second row. We take the Grand Highlander for a drive, and let's go. So this is actually really nice. I love this SUV. I love driving this thing. It has been really nice to just get in an SUV, not have to tinker with too many things, very simple controls, just really nice looking, you know, things. Not the pretentious price. Granted, yes, we're still kind of up there in price, but what SUV, especially in this segment, isn't? But it has been really nice to just get in and drive. I don't have to worry about this and the other thing. It just works. That kind of sentiment. And it's been nice. The ride quality has been incredible. I love that we have pretty big wheels, but they're not like super massive that now we're feeling every single little bump on the road. And it does a really good job at absorbing things. It's quiet in here. You know, I've been blasting my music. It's just been a really great package for road trips. Yeah, that's the big thing that I was like, whoa, this is really nice to just drive on the highway. And it's also been really good on, you know, stop and go traffic as well. So it's been kind of relaxing to have this vehicle. I think if we had massage seats, yeah, that would definitely be the icing on the cake, which I don't know. Now I'm starting to guess, do we have massage seats on this? No, we don't, because I would have definitely seen it in the paperwork. But yeah, this has been nice. And yeah, we get a good amount of power as well. We do have other options that are going to give you better MPGs if that's what you prefer, which honestly, yeah, you're probably going to want that if you're wanting to use this on a road trip and so on, because it's a significant bump than over this more performance, you know, hybrid max that we get with this. Now we've gone ahead and switched it over to sport mode, and yeah, this has been really impressive. So let's go ahead and have some fun. I think one of the most impressive things was the sound of that engine. Yeah, that four-cylinder has a good rumble to it. Whether it's pumped in or not, yeah, you got Toyota, you guys got the sound right on this. And the brakes have been really nice. You know, it's a big SUV, but it really gets this guy stopped. And the full-time all-wheel drive system is incredible. Like, you can really get the power down and it'll just distribute it to where it needs to go. The suspension is great, absorbing what you want and, you know, telling you what you need to know with what's going on with those wheels. But it has just been incredible. And yeah, obviously not something you're going to be chucking around, but the fact that I can do it and it responds that way is nice. Yeah, this thing has been spectacular. I never thought I'd have fun in a big SUV like this that is a four-cylinder. Yeah, I know. I'm going to hear it. You guys are going to say, oh, no, that's only a four-cylinder. But this thing packs a punch. And, yeah, it is pretty damn good. So let's see how good we can do with this 3-point stop. Hopefully we won't make it a 4-point stop. But I think we might. Now, we're going to cheat a little bit, but not too much. So we'll go ahead and... yeah, the grass is getting really tall. So these later cars that I'm reviewing now... are not going to benefit from having a short grass. Oh, yeah, it's braking. I know, it's just grass. But thank you, Toyota Safety Sense 3.0, I believe. Yeah, so it's going to be a good amount. Now, again, yes, this is a very narrow road with that grass. Yes, I know. But don't worry. I haven't had a single issue with getting this thing parked. And it's also been great at, you know, using the camera system turning on so that I know where to park. Now we've gone ahead and we've set up our race box. It's our 0 to 30, 0 to 60 telemetry box. It can also do drag timing as well as a lap timer. So it's a really nice all-in-one device. Great company to work with. So I'll go ahead and include my link in the description for a possible little discount. So we're still in sport mode and we are not going to brake boost it because it does not like the fact that we have both the gas and the accelerator, the gas and the brake at the same time. So we are going to go from a hold, from brake hold, and just floor it. Now let's talk numbers. We're dealing with a 0 to 30 in 2.34 seconds and a 0 to 60 in 6.6 seconds. Now, what was kind of surprising to me is that we actually had some wheel spin. Yeah, we had some wheel spin off the line, which was kind of nice, but then it just kicked the power to the rear and just got this thing going. And like I said, yeah, we can really get this big guy going, even with pushing it to you know, some pretty limits that, you know, pretty extreme limits that you wouldn't really be doing this on an everyday drive unless, yeah, I don't know, unless you're that kind of person. But the fact, again, that we can do this and it just responds so well is nice to have. Now, when the Grand Highlander was announced, I was thinking, why do we need it when the Highlander itself was great? But Toyota did the right thing and they said, let's get what's great about the Highlander, the standard Highlander, let's make it grand. And lo and behold, we have the Grand Highlander. Yeah, and I think Toyota was successful in making an even better Highlander. Well, guys, I hope you've enjoyed my review of the Toyota Grand Highlander. And remember, find the right gear. See ya.